start with the game of the weekend. This was billed as who is going to contend for the league. This was like when heavyweights are fighting and it's like, this is the elimination fight. Whoever wins this can go and fight Tyson Fury or whoever's got the belts. Red versus blue. City versus Liverpool. Manchester versus Liverpool. The battle of the North. This is a battle that has dominated the Premier League for the last few seasons. And what we witnessed was Liverpool get dog walked. Dog walked.
That's your boys. That's
I know you was watching the screen like academics, like
yeah. I was enjoying that. I was enjoying that. Yes, bossa.
There's a lot of places to start with this.
Yeah.
There is, what does this mean for City's season? What does it mean for Liverpool's season? Individual performances. Where would you gentlemen like to start first? I have an idea of where I would like to start, but I just want to see if we're on the same page.
the most, please start.
I want to give a decent amount of time to speak about the performance of Jeremy Doku.
Right. That performance alone, I can't lie, that deserves an ovation.
That is listen, I'll let you start, but
That is what we call real wing play. Last week we were talking about we need centre midfielders to be centre midfielders, but that is what you call electrifying. That is what you call being direct. That is what you call style with substance. It wasn't just pretty on the eye, because he got the goal as well. That performance, there was a stat that Opta put out, which was saying that that was the first player to complete more than 10 dribbles, seven chances, 3 chances created, 3 shots on target, and
10 duels.
Seven. I think it was 11 duels, 7 completed dribbles
since Hazard in 2019.
Insane.
So in layman's terms, that was the most devastating performance of one-man action on the flank by a player since Hazard.
I mean, did we need the stats? Did you need the stats?
I didn't need the stats.
Did you need the stats?
I just need that to just in case anyone didn't watch the game.
Just for the paperwork.
Yeah.
That was one of the best winger performances I've seen in the Premier League, bro.
Yeah.
Without the goal, he terrorized Liverpool.
Yep.
You know, Bradley kept up a few times.
Yeah.
He tried. I'm not even going to knock
First
Bradley
half,
today. What Doku was on was demonic. I can't even knock Bradley today.
Yeah.
The take-ons, anybody that came near. Florian Wirtz, you want to come close? All right, I'm gone.
Yeah.
Gravenberch, you want to double up? All right, I'm just going to split between both of you.
Yeah.
Konate, you don't want to come out and engage with me. Bradley, listen, as your tweet said, hey, this ain't Vinny. This ain't Vinny. Maybe Vinny a 2 year, 3 year, post Ballon d'Or Vinny? You think that's you think Jeremy Doku's taking that? No chance. That performance today, bro, even without the goal, I would have walked off and said, standing ovation.
Yeah.
What, like his goal, you saw when the Man City players went to celebrate, it was like laughing, like, you deserve it, bro. Like, you deserve it. It was
big bro.
Bro. And do you know what? Like, honestly, I think he deserves a night like that. I think he deserves a night like that because Doku quietly is having a good season, first and foremost. But what do you always say about Doku? If. It's always if with Doku. If. And finally today, because you know, a lot of people, the way the game is, if he didn't put the ball in the back of the net, they would still say, oh, it's overrated performance. Yeah. You know, people sometimes try to say Hazard v France, is an overrated game. But this one, he put the icing on the cake with that absolute beauty as well. I mean, honestly, I
think it speaks to this season, though, the way he's just improved his game. Honestly, it feels like this year, the decision making, the final third, that kind of end product, he's getting it right. And look, the numbers on the board might not be amazing, but you can see it. If you watch him game to game, bro, he is not now just a scary winger on the ball, bro. It's off the ball. The amount he's tracking back to do his defensive work as well. It's like a complete winger performance, bro. It's not just going forward, it's going back as well. Coming in and linking up with the midfielders as well. I just think when you see it click for a player, there's nothing better. I remember when Raheem Sterling a couple of years ago, do you remember when Pep first arrived? He was similarly like that. Kind of, he could get on the end of things. He was pacey, but he just needed to harness it, just become that little bit more clinical. And I think if Pep does that with Doku now, and I think this season he's been one of the best wingers in my opinion, just maybe not putting down the numbers. If he can make it click this season, this is what I've been saying. Haaland, we know he's going to single-handedly carry them to a title charge. but he just needs 1 or 2 running mates. Yeah. Whether that's Foden, whether that's Cherky, whether that's Doku. And we saw last year you had Savinho, you had Doku, you had Grealish. Nobody wanted to take the mantle. Finally, this season, someone's stepping up, and Doku said,
I've been saying
let me have my goal.
For a few weeks about Doku. I remember when I was saying that when he found Christ, it's like God was guiding each decision when he was moving. Yeah. But you're right, because the difference between the top players and the players just below is the top players are able to make the right decision time and time after again. And Doku's always had ability on the ball, can move, shift, but it always felt like you're watching a player that was moving so quickly they didn't have their thoughts gathered on what they were going to do next.
Bro, we've seen so many footballers like that, Walcott, Lennon, them man that are just 99 speed, but their brain is almost, their feet are too quick for their brain.
But do you know the most devastating play you can come against? Someone that's that quick, but also has that bit of pause on their game. So they're quick, then they stop. The goal, he glitches and then wraps it. Yeah, that's something he wasn't doing 6 months ago.
On that shot as well.
I don't think you can understate how big of a performance that was, because when you especially consider Real Madrid just played Liverpool with Vinny, with Mbappe, with these type of players. If his name Doku today was Mbappe, if his name today was Yamal, we would be playing that tape forever.
Stand-up performer like that as well. It helps when this game really, it just felt like City just took Liverpool to school, bro. Like, it was a flogging, and Doku was like the shining light amongst it. But bro, there were so many other, like, the fullbacks, which I think have been almost like a weakness, bro. And everybody's been saying, yo, when are City gonna sign some actual fullbacks? He put Mateus Nunes, who's a centre mid. He playing well in that league. Nico O'Reilly, who's a attacking mid in the academy.
Can we speak about O'Reilly?
And they've gone both of them today were impeccable, bro. Salah, nowhere to be seen. We'll talk about Liverpool in a minute, but City, I think there were so many other performances today. Nico Gonzalez, you touched on it obviously with the hobble after his pass, and I was like, you know, I'm watching that afterwards. I was like, bro, he didn't put a foot wrong. The goal obviously was lucky with a little deflection. I was just about to say, bro, that's the type of goal Rodri pops up with as well. Yeah. So it's like, and he's quietly, steadily been building that kind of
City fans have been saying it, to be fair. They have been saying it about Nico Gonzalez.
I feel like there's a lot of performances today that could have, and normally we're so used to every City game this season, it's almost been like a Haaland praise session. I feel like today it's probably the least we're going to talk about it.
And I'm glad you mentioned this, because last week we had a conversation. We briefly mentioned O'Reilly saying that it's the first time in a while where it's Haaland and someone else scoring. Yeah. I think for City in the league, it was like Haaland has whatever amount of goals, next person own goals, then it's 1-1 each. Away from scoring goals today, Doku stood to the table. O'Reilly's performance defensively, that's what you call lock up shop.
Salah's starting to give a lot of fullbacks career nights. a lot of fullbacks are looking at Salah for their career night, boy.
Lock up shop. On the other side, Nunes, perfect performance. The midfield,
got the cross assist. They got
the assist. Midfield, we've spoken about how City looked like they've lacked running power in midfield. They were trampling all over Liverpool. And after the game, they were doing a post-match interview, and they were talking to Diaz and Doku, and they were saying that, is this now, you know, the new team embedded, you know, you guys had to a changing of guard? And Diaz was like, no, we've been doing this. But it made me think, we've always said that second season Pep players, when they've downloaded the data and they've embedded in, have a better understanding. Now, there's no way, shape about it that Pep is playing football a bit different. He's adapting. But I think you have to give credit to the players for stepping up to the mantle, because they could have bowed out. They could have been like, right, you know what? Maybe it's not going away. But you are now seeing the revival of the Shark team. The mentality of this performance today tells me these guys believe that they can go on a run here. And like we said in pre-production when we were talking before the game, Pep's coming out and saying some interesting stuff in the news as well about, you know, the league.
No titles can be won in November, but they can be lost.
So, you know what? Yeah, but
hey, 4 points ain't a lot, you know.
4 points ain't a lot for sure. But you know, with it, right? You saw for me just a massive gap in quality in the managers, bro. In the managers, you see Pep on his 1000th game. You know, veteran, seasoned vet in this thing, one of the greatest of all time, arguably the greatest, depending on what side you want to sit on. He took Arnslot to school. Arnslot tried to compact the midfield today, make it so Foden don't get the ball, so Cherky don't get the ball, so Bernardo, Nico don't get the ball. And he just said, all right, we'll just be sending it out wide to Doku, and he's just going to terrorize you guys. And they didn't have an answer for that. They did not have an answer. They did not want to consistently double or triple up, because then you have Foden in the half spaces. Then you have Cherky potentially going into the half space. It was just too much, and Arnslot did not find a solution. Everybody talks about the way I don't want to talk about Arsenal right now, but everybody talks about how Arteta sets up in some games or whatever. Did you see how Onslaught set up at the Etihad today? Completely defensive. Watching City pass it side to side. Pep took Onslaught to school. To school today. And I think that can't be understated. Yes, there was a big moment with the Van Dijk goal. We're going to get into that, I'm sure. But I just don't think, even when you're talking about Mateus Nunes and O'Reilly, this is something where I think I got to say, even put my hands up. I looked at City's defense and I was like, that's the reason why they're not going to compete this year like that.
Injury-prone Stones.
Pretty good, right? Stones plays Champions League, Europe games. Diaz comes in for the Prem games. Vardio, O'Reilly, Nunes. They've been
the question
okay,
for them, for that City defense now will be, can they do it consistently? Can Mateus Nunes right back consistently like that? Or Nick O'Reilly, I think he's been showing that this season.
He's the new Miles Lewis Skelly this year. That's what he is, right?
Hey, don't let him snatch a World Cup spot, boy.
He got called up. Miles didn't get called up.
He came off a bit injured, didn't it?
Is it? Or maybe Miles didn't get the call up.